Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us. My name is Ari Page and we have a very exciting presentation for you today. Today we're going to be covering how to get access to up to $250,000 of funding. Right now there is a lot of opportunity out there, but if you don't have access to funding, then your business may not be able to take advantage of it. So my name is Ari Page. As I mentioned, I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Fund&Grow. And here you can see me with my two beautiful children, Kayla and Dimitri. And we reside here in sunny Florida where things are open and we are getting lots and lots of business credit churned out every single day. So today we're going to be covering how to get business credit and how to keep it from showing up on your personal credit, this real business credit, and how to give up equity within your deals in the sense, or to keep your equity within all of your deals and to give up equity partners so that you are the 100% funder of your deals. You don't have to give up any of your business to anybody else. We're going to teach you how to do that, as well as everything else that kind of goes along with business credit, keeping your interest rates as low as possible. So today, what we're going to cover is why business credit is one of the best forms of funding that's available today and how to quickly get a lot of that. So we're going to talk about how you can get access to funding, lots of funding, not just a couple of these business accounts, but a lot of these business accounts, enough where you can use this as a credit card stacking process and get access to a lot of funding in a very short period of time using our proven process. And this process is something that hundreds of clients are using every single month with Fund&Grow. So we're also continuing, we're also going to cover how we handle negotiations. How do we get this type of funding for clients? Well, how does that negotiation process works? And can you use it to buy real estate? Yes, you can use this type of funding to buy real estate. You can use it as a cash buyer. You can literally wire transfer the money to buy your real estate. Okay, you're going to hear from actual clients that are already using this type of credit. And finally, we're also going to talk about non-recourse credit and what is non-recourse corporate credit, which is completely separate from business credit. Now, before we get into all of that, I want to know what is holding most business owners back. A lot of you on the webinar today are business owners. Come to the console and let us know what is holding you back. Come to the comments area. Let us know what is holding you back, what's holding your business back right now. We're really curious. We want to know. Now, one of the things that's hurting the market a lot is capital constraints. And this is where small businesses, medium-sized businesses, even large businesses are not getting access to the funding they need to expand at the rate that they're used to. And so being able to get access to funding is really important, especially in today's market with the way that the coronavirus has affected everything. That is what's really holding a lot of businesses back. So some of the benefits, and there's many benefits to this type of credit, but some of the benefits, and we're going to be going over this, is that there's an introductory rate that's given on these type of business credit cards, and it's really beautiful. And so that introductory rate is on average around 12 months. Now, there are some that are as short as 6 months, and there are some that are as long as I've ever had is a 22-month city offer, 0% business credit card. Beautiful, and you're able to leverage the entire thing into your business. So we're going to talk about how using this type of business credit cards, you can, in the credit card stacking process, within 3 to 4 weeks, you can get up to $125,000. That's if you have good credit. If your credit's not so good, it might be more in the $30,000 to $40,000 to $50,000 range. It all depends on exactly where your credit is. Now, this type of funding does not appear on your personal credit. It doesn't report to your personal credit. It is personally guaranteed, but it doesn't report to your personal credit, meaning that we're able to leverage the entire account without it affecting your personal credit. We're going to get more into that, but that's part of the gold of this type of funding. So no collateral or asset is required. Tax returns are not required. There's no income verification needed. And one of the most beautiful things about this form of funding is that you get all types of cash back and rewards and airline miles. I went to Spain a few years ago in first class. We literally had beds laying down and all of it was paid for using the airline miles. It was a beautiful thing. So let's do a little bit of comparison. So hard money versus business credit. we have two different forms of funding that are available on the markets. One of them is hard money. Everyone's already aware of hard money. And the second that not everyone's really aware of is business credit. But business credit is a little bit more difficult to attain, but it has a lot better rates. The rates are absolutely amazing in comparison to hard money. So I've laid out just a few of the stats that are related to a hard money loan versus a 0% loan. And as you can see right here, a hard money loan is going to total up with a lot of overall costs. So here you can see we have $15,000 on a $100,000 loan, and that's with 12% interest, 3% origination fee. But when we look at the cost of a 0% business credit card, which could be in the form of maybe 3 or even 4 cards, that could be, but the total cost of getting the money off of the card is 2.8%. And this right here, this 2.8%, which on 100,000 adds up to 2,800, this right here is just on the wire transfer fee to get the money off the card. So here, to access it, you're talking about $2,800 versus $15,000. And so there's a big difference when you're looking at these different forms of fundings. And that's one of the more common ones, hard money. There's all types of different types of funding out there that cost way more than business credit. And a lot of people think, well, I use hard money because I can't get approved for business credit. Or I use this type of funding because that's all I can get. No, you don't realize everyone in America can get access to business credit. Everyone can do the credit card stacking process, and that's with business credit cards that don't appear on your credit report. There is no excuses that's going to hold you back. Even if you have bad credit, which is the one and only excuse that could hold you back, even if you have bad credit, that too can be fixed, and we're going to get more into that in a little bit. So secondly, I'd like to know, what will you use the funding for? If you would, come to the questions area, come to the comments, and let us know, what are you going to use the funding for? So a little bit about your presenters. I am Ari Page. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Fund&Grow, and I also have Jason Alonso, who's our Chief Operations Officer. He's going to be coming on in about 20 minutes, and he's going to be giving you real-life insider testimonial of how life is inside Fund&Grow. So he actually runs the operations department. He's running the negotiations team, the consultant team. He's running everyone within the building. We have about 65 employees that are here. It says 50 team members on the screen, but we're growing so fast. So there's about 65 team members here in our building in Spring Hill, Florida. And together we are churning out millions of dollars of funding every single month. Last month we generated $19 million in funds for our client pool. And so that's just in 1 month alone, $19 million in funding. And that's a lot of funding that we're generating every single month, and we're super proud. Here's a picture of us, of our whole team, well, everyone that we could get that day. And so this is everyone here in front of our building in Spring Hill, Florida. So if you are watching us on YouTube or on the webinar today, we want to encourage you, come in and join us on our other social media channels. We would love to have you in the sense of coming and commenting and helping drive our conversation and letting us know what you're interested in hearing about. We also interview clients on our YouTube channel. So if you're interested in hearing more from our clients and what they're doing, you can go to our YouTube channel. So thank you for everyone who has joined us today. We have a special bonus just for staying on till the end of the call. It's a $500 bonus, so please stay on to the end of the call. And what we're going to jump into now is how to get access to $250,000 in funding. So a lot of banks offer these types of business credit cards. A lot of banks offer 0% business credit cards. All you have to do is go on Google and type in 0% interest credit cards. Now the question is, how do you get access to them? How do you use the cash off them? And how do you get the largest limits, the largest amounts? So you have to obtain multiple accounts at the same time in order to do the strategy. So the first thing is we have to make sure that your credit is very clean and you're ready for us to apply for the funding. So the only way that we're going to get $155,000, like for Philip here, the only way that we're going to do that is by, first of all, looking at Phil's credit, cleaning up any type of tiny little issues. We're not talking about credit repair. We're talking about just the credit balances and making sure that there's no late payments. Late payments are something that's a negative, but there's a variety of different things, such as balances, such as the way that the seasoning is reporting, and we're going to be getting more into this. There's actually so many things that it's hard to contain in your head. So we're going to be getting into the credit reports in a short period of time, but we're going to show you how, if we can fix those little statistics, and some people do have bad credit. We're going to get into that. But if you don't have bad credit, but you're still having a hard time getting access to funding, there's little items on your report that if we get them cleaned up, you too can get access to a lot of funding on your first batch. But I'd like to know, how much funding do you need access to? Do you need a lot of funding? Are you looking for 50, 100, 250,000? How much do you need to start or scale your business? Come to the questions area and let us know. Now, having your entity structured properly is a really important part of getting access to a lot of funding fast. So if you want to go to the banks and apply for 4 or 5 of these credit cards at the exact same time and get approvals on all of them, you need to make sure that your entity is structured properly. So now what are the attributes that would make a safe and sound entity? So there's 3 main things. And that is the length of time your company's been open, the industry that you're in, and the name of your company. You need to make sure that the length of time is something that is acceptable by the banks. So, and we're not advocating using a shelf corporation or anything like that. That's not a effective way of doing this. But you do need to make sure that you have an entity that has the sufficient amount of seasoning, at least 2 years, and that you are in a safe industry. So it's not something that's considered risky by the banks, and that you have a safe name. So a safe name is something that's not indicating a risky industry. And so that's pretty much straightforward. So now one of the things that helps our clients with that is that we actually are going to provide that in our consultation. We actually go over these individual things with the client. We work through them to help create those specific attributes that they need, not only with their entity, but also with their credit. And so you're going to see as we move forward how that comes into play with the credit. I'm going to bring up a credit report on the screen. We're going to go over that in just a minute. But all of these different things make a big difference. Your debt to credit ratio, what type of accounts you're using, the seasoning on your accounts, whether you have a lot of different separate accounts that are from the same lender that you could merge together to have less overall accounts with higher limits because you have merged multiple accounts into one. So there's all these different things that you can do to help your credit that people aren't even aware of. But the first thing is you have to know, what credit report am I looking at? If I'm looking at a consumer credit report, it's a lot different than a bank tri-merge credit report. So a consumer credit report is giving me a 24-month snapshot. So it's giving me a 2-year snapshot. Whereas a tri-merge bank report is giving me my entire credit history all compiled together in order for the bank to give me a leveraged appropriate decision on my loan. And so a leveraged decision means that it's something that's based off of actually lending credit to you, as opposed to a consumer report just giving you a snapshot of what your credit is. So you need to have a more in-depth look at your credit by the banks, which is what the tri-merge credit report is. So if you had access to that and you knew exactly which one of the credit modules that the credit bureaus were using, then you could be aware of whether or not you're using the latest credit scoring modules and whether or not the banks are even looking at the same thing that you're looking at. Let me give you just a few examples of this. So on the screen here, you can see that I have 2 different credit reports pulled up. This one on the left-hand side is a consumer credit report, and the one on the right-hand side is a tri-merge bank-level credit report. It's like one that you would get if you went and applied for a credit card. It's what they would be looking at. And so I just want to point out a few things on this account to start out, or on this credit report to start out with. So first of all, you can see that on the left-hand side, there's only 2 accounts reporting to this entire, and it takes up an entire page. And this is what it looks like on your computer screen. These are the same ratio. And so this is what it looks like on your computer screen. It takes up the entire account, and all they're showing you is a 24-month snapshot from one side to the other. That's only 24 months. So if this person theoretically had late payments before that time, it wouldn't even show up on this particular report because it's only giving you a 24-month snapshot. Plus, they're only giving you a handful of fields here. only a handful of fields, as opposed to the bank level credit report giving you a lot more data. Let's unpack that and dive into it. So first, let's take a look at this Gmac Mortgage. So this mortgage, it claims in the day open field that it was opened 06 of 05. Seems straightforward enough, right? Seems that the seasoning of this account should then be based off of when it was opened. Day open field says 06 of 05. That should be a nice, strong seasoning. Except, there's this little caveat. The banks don't use that field. Even though it clearly says date opened, and they should go off of that, they go off of this other field over here. This other field over here is called the historical status field. So the historical status field, in this particular case for this mortgage, was reset to 1. Now, why would they do that? Why would they reset that field to 1? Well, the reason that that field was reset to 1 was because this particular lender had been bought out by another lender during the crash. And this happens often. One bank buys out another bank, they reset the seasoning of all the mortgages that they bought from the other bank. And so even though this was opened in 2005, they had 1 month of seasoning. And so we got that updated for our client. We had this updated to 99 months, as it should be, so that this client had a nice, strong seasoning, because they hide this. This historical status field, folks, this entire thing does not even show up on the consumer credit report. It doesn't even appear. So if this client had figured it out, or this client never would have figured this out, because on their consumer report, when they look at the date opened, which is right here, the date opened, they would have been messing around with this, not knowing that this field here, the day open field, doesn't make any difference. It doesn't make any difference at all. So by having access to this historical status field, we were able to get this updated, and then that code, the code went down. So as you can see, there's going to be codes that pop up. Proportion of loan to amount is too high. And these different codes greatly impact this. So if this code pops up saying that he has too many recent accounts open, time since most recent account opening is too short. So if this code pops up, suddenly it kills the deal. So in this case, we were able to get this updated. I don't know if that makes sense. If that makes sense, folks, come to the questions area and let me know if what I just said there made sense to you. I'm going to go over the next thing now, okay? So let's take a quick look at this Chase account right here. So this Chase account, in the high credit field, it says 0. Now, who on the call knows about the 35% credit ratio? The 35% ratio. This right here is the golden rule of credit cards. So the golden rule of credit cards is do not use more than 35% of the limit. If I have a $10,000 limit, I can't use more than $3,500, because $3,500 is 35% of $10,000. And so if I use more than 35% of the $10,000 limit, then my credit scores start to go down. This is why we use business credit cards, folks, because the business credit cards don't appear on your personal credit report. The business credit reports your tax ID number, building your business and corporate credit, and that's the secret sauce here. So in this particular case, this client had a Chase card, and it was a personal card. And that card reported to his credit report. But in the credit field, they were reporting a 0. Now, why would they report a 0 when this client actually had a very big credit limit? Well, they do this, folks, to people that have good credit. They do this to people that have good credit. So if you have good credit, and they want to bring your score down, then what they do is they'll offer you one of these cards. All the banks have them. Bank of America, Chase, Capital One, American Express, all of them have it. They call it something different. So one of them calls it the no limit card. One of them calls it the fair and flexible card. Another bank calls it the open card. And essentially what these cards are they are a credit card that does not report a credit limit to your credit report. They have a soft limit in the bank system, but they do not report the limit to your credit report. And they act as if you are such a high-end client. That's why we're not going to even put a limit on your report. You're such a good client, we're not going to even charge you an over limit fee if you happen to go over our soft limit within the system of 20, 30, whatever we've given you. If you go over that, you don't get a fee. And what do they get by this arrangement? What they get is they have no credit limit reporting. And so when no credit limit is reporting, now this client put $5,392 of a balance on this card. It's now reporting on a zero limit, and this client is $5,392 over limit. This client's scores were so low, they had no idea what was going on because he's $5,392 over limit with a mortgage that was set up last month. It doesn't even make sense. And this right here, folks, could be happening on your credit report. So what did we do? We had the limit updated to actually, we call it imposing a limit. You call the bank and you say, I want my $25,000 limit to report. So we call up, we have the 25K report, and now $5,000 balance on a 25K limit. Not a problem. It's below your 30%. You are good to go. So these are the ratios that we're talking about, folks. This isn't even bad credit. This isn't even about bad credit. So, and there's all these different things that are going on people's credit reports all the time. And like, for example, on this account over here, we wouldn't even know, is this an authorized user account? Is this person the co-borrower? Are they the borrower? On these reports over here, they'll tell us. Do you see right here, Director Vision over here? Do you see this little A? Do you see this A? This A says that this entire account here, this Bank of America account, is nothing more than an authorized user account. So if this client happened to have a late payment and a couple 90 days and some late payments, let's say he had some negatives on here, they could remove this entire account. This entire account could be removed off his credit report that easily because they're just an authorized user. Now, sometimes people know when they're an authorized user, but not all the time. A lot of times people don't know. We tell them, hey, did you know you're only an authorized user on this account and you can remove it? And so once you let them know that, then they can remove it and that entire account won't hurt them. And of course, it's only sometimes that someone has a late payment on the account at all. So I could literally go on and on here, folks, but look how down here on this American Express card, this is a closed one, but look how they reset this client seasoning to 1. These games the banks play, we don't want to play these games. Our job is to make it so that your report and your profile looks rock solid and that you'll get the highest amounts approved. We don't want any of these codes to pop up. So it's really important that we're credit masters, that we know exactly which module we're pulling, that we're pulling a tri-merge report, that we're seeing the exact weighted score that the bank is seeing. We need to see that weighted score because we need to know, would the bank approve you if you were approved for $250,000? We don't need to know a snapshot of a consumer report. We need to know a weighted score. So personal credit absolutely matters. That's why we're helping our clients position themselves. We're not a credit repair company. We're not doing any type of credit repair. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about consulting, advising you on the ratios and on the stats that show up on your report and making you aware of things that you may not be aware of otherwise. So we already went over the 30%. We have it at 30% here. 35 is the highest. Really, let's keep it at 30%, folks. So keep your personal credit cards at or below 30% if you want to keep high scores. And so in order to keep a high credit score, you have to make sure that you're not overutilizing your credit cards. And one of the strategies is if you have multiple credit cards from a lender, let's say you have a lot of cards from USAA, or maybe you use Chase Bank, and over the years they've offered you multiple cards. Well, have you ever considered calling Chase and saying, you know what, I got this $5,000 card, I have this $10,000 one, I have this $3,000 one. I want to merge all 3 of these together into the account that was opened the longest ago, the oldest account. So now the oldest account I have now has the limit of all 3 of these credit cards merged into one. So now I have less overall accounts, and the accounts I do have higher credit limits. And I've closed the accounts that are newer, or I've merged them into the older account. And so I've retained the account that has the older seasoning. And that's really important to do. This is what our team does. They'll help you with that. Now, if you are in a situation where it's not statistics, it's not just normal things on your credit report causing a problem, but you actually do have a late payment, or you actually do have a negative, or you have in the past gone through bankruptcy or some other problem, understand that that too can be fixed. Now, we're not a credit repair company, but we do work together, and we have partial ownership in another credit repair company called Kadam Credit Help. And we've worked together with them for many years, and we also advise and guide this company and how they operate. And so we have a lot invested in that company, in the sense of a lot of clients that we've sent over there. And this is an incredibly great company to work with. They have this very unique 4-channel disputing system where instead of just disputing by sending in a letter, which a lot of credit companies, that's all they do. They just send a letter in. They send another letter and another letter, and they just ask the same thing over and over. And instead of just sending in a letter, what they do is they identify that there's 4 ways to dispute with the credit bureaus. Number 1, obviously, everyone knows about the letter. Number 2, you can fax in a dispute to some of the bureaus. Number 3, you can do an online dispute. And number 4, you can do a verbal dispute. You can call in. And all 4 of these departments give you different feedback, where in some cases, you can't get the people when you mail in the letter to get a specific item removed. Many cases, by calling in and verbally talking with them and becoming irate, they can get them removed. Or by doing an online dispute, I don't know, somehow the geeks in the online department, they can get it removed. And so you have 4 different channels. They switch gears. Instead of just doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, they actually do something differently, and then they get different results. And we've worked with them for a long time, and they have helped so many of our clients. It would be a disservice for us not to tell you about it. So what happens if it's not credit repair holding you back, but you have something else? Let's say that you have another loan that is weighing on your scores. That's another thing. You don't want credit. You don't want to have all this heavy credit balances on your personal scores. You want to have it on your business credit. So we have a lot of clients that have high credit scores, and they're still having a hard time getting access to funding. And not because of anything they're doing necessarily, but it's because of some things that they don't know. And so there's ways to get some of these higher interest loans off your report, to work on your ratios, to work on the stats on your report, to bring it up so that you too can get access to the funding. And not only is it about your scores going higher so you can get access, it's about changing those ratios, because the score is only indicative of what's going on the report. It's not 100%. They're not going to just approve you. They're like, oh, this is your score, approved. That's not the way it works. The score is indicative. So they're like, well, this score is there, okay. Now we know you're in the range where we might approve you, so then they take a closer look. So one of the reasons why clients are getting so much funding with us is because we have been doing this for a very long time, and our team is very dedicated to our clients. And actually our negotiators are literally paid only on what they negotiate and get for you. So they're kind of aggressive, and they work really, really hard. And we know what are the banks that are going to approve for this credit ratio and for this specific situation. We know which bank is going to report to your credit report. Some banks call it a business credit card, and then they report it to your personal credit. That's not even a business credit card. So our negotiations department is really amazing, because what we do is we not only apply for you for your business, we then negotiate, follow up with the bank, speak to the bank on your behalf to get the highest approvals possible. That's why Fund&Grow gets the highest approval amounts of any of the companies that do this in our industry, because we actually follow up. We take those extra steps to speak with the bank on your behalf, and we do this all completely legally. And we have a signed documentation, a full documentation trail for the bank to be able to see that we're doing this to get you the maximum amount of funding for your business, and without having a negotiator, someone to do this for you, or for you to do it for you. But most businesses don't know how to do this on their own. Most business owners don't know how to do this for themselves, because guess what? They're not in the business of funding. They're in whatever their industry is. So when you have a team do this for you, you're going to get access to so much more funding. And the worst part is a lot of people already have good credit, and they're just unable to leverage it properly. So once you've gone through that process, you've gotten your first batch, let's say it's 50, 75,000, 100,000 if you have higher credit, you're then going to need to go through this card stacking process again and again. And what do I mean by that? Well, you're going to want to get access to more and more funding. If you're doing real estate, you might want to buy more properties. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. It's very possible you might want access to more. Not everybody does, but many do. So one of the things that's necessary at this stage is to remove the credit inquiries on your credit report that resulted from a business credit card application. If it's from a business credit card, then it shouldn't be appearing on your personal report, because it's been guaranteed off of this, it's for this business. It is personally guaranteed, but they're not able to report that specific inquiry against your personal report. They can actually put it there, but they can't keep it there. So we're going to show you how to get all of those removed in order to keep your credit scores as high as possible, so that we can go back for more credit and more credit. Because remember, the 0% is the longest it's going to be is 21 or 22 months. The card stacking process requires that we keep the balances at 0% throughout the entire process. We were going to keep it regardless of which card it's on. We need to keep it on a 0% card. That's the entire point of the process. And the biggest names in the industry are doing this. This is what they do for their real estate. This is what they're teaching their clients. You may have heard about us from one of the people that you see on the screen, or you may just know of some of these folks. But all of these people, some of the biggest names in the industry, this is what they're doing. So now I promised you in the beginning of the webinar that we were going to talk a little bit about non-recourse funding too. Now, non-recourse funding is especially cool and exciting because it has nothing to do with you personally. It's not personally guaranteed, and it would never come back on you personally. Now, everything that we've talked about up until now, if you're just joining us, everything we've talked about up until now had to do with personal credit and business credit. So business credit is personally guaranteed, meaning that they have looked at your personal credit report, but they report it to the tax ID number of your business. Now, we're going to get into a new topic now, and that's corporate credit. Now, corporate credit has nothing to do with your personal credit report. They don't look at your personal credit report. They're not reporting to your personal credit report. If you don't pay the account, they're not going to report it to your personal credit report because, like I just said, it has nothing to do with your personal. So corporate credit is this whole new animal that we're about to get into. So watch closely. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is that non-recourse credit. The reason why it's called non-recourse is because it doesn't come back on you. There is no recourse. So Fund&Grow owns multiple buildings. Those buildings we established, we purchased them with corporate credit. That means that me as the owner, I didn't have to put my personal credit down. I didn't have to guarantee them. They were bought solely on the credit of the business. And we've bought multiple buildings being able to do that. Could you do that? Yes, you could. Now, you're going to start with business credit. And as you build your business, as you build your income, you're then going to transition to corporate credit. And then you could get fleets of vehicles with corporate credit. You can buy your business's technology, like your company phones and your computers and your tech infrastructure can all be bought, using corporate credit. You can buy your brick and mortar pizza ovens or your different tools and pieces of machinery. All of these things can be purchased on corporate credit. Corporate credit is one of the largest, biggest forms of funding that big companies are using. The bigger your company, the more likely you're going to be getting access to this type of funding. The smaller or more medium-sized your company is, the more likely you're going to be using business credit to start with and then transitioning into corporate credit. But just understand that you can buy literally fleets of vehicles, all types of technology, tons of real estate, all using corporate credit. So here we have Joe talking about how he got $140,000 in his first batch, and he calls it literally, it was rocket fuel for his business. So thank you, Joel. And then we have Al, who, now I like this particular testimony because Al is talking about how he got $60,000 on his first batch, but then notice how he says second batch update, and he says $125,000. Now, what is that second batch update? So the second batch update, what that means is that, well, I guess that doesn't work then. What the second batch update means is that he, on his first batch, the first time we went through and applied for credit cards, we applied for 4 or 5 of these accounts, we got $60,000. But then we went through the second round of credit card stacking. We applied for more accounts and then got another large amount to add to that. So that's what the second batch update means. And I'm sure everyone's already gone onto Google at this point and they've already Googled us. You can see that we are upstanding members of the business community. We're obviously on the BBB with the A+ rating. And one of the most important things is check out these customer reviews. 813 customer reviews. Do we have some negatives? Yes. We have some complaints? We have some clients that have complained about us. We have some people that have complained about us. We're processing hundreds and hundreds of new clients every single month. We're generating millions and millions. Last month we generated 19 million in funding just in that 1 month alone. And we do about that every single month, but we're slowly growing our overall amount of funding that we're bringing in, the amount of credit that we're bringing in. But with all of that being said, we're dealing with people's credit, their finances. Sometimes people are rubbed a little bit wrong. We didn't answer them quite fast enough or text them back quite soon enough. And so there are a few negatives, but the majority of everything you're going to see about us online is very positive, very uplifting, because that's what we do. We're here to serve you, to serve your business. We're here to get you as much funding as possible. Our negotiators are literally paid on how much funding they get you. They're incentivized to get you what it is that you want, because we want a testimonial from you. If you've gone online, you've already seen how many testimonials we have. Now you know why. We incentivize our negotiators to do for that type of behavior, and because we want to receive more and more and more testimonials. And the reason why we're able to get those testimonials so easily is because this is what we do all day. All day long, we're applying, we're negotiating, we're getting funding. This is just what we do. And so that's why when you work with anyone who's expert in what they do, it's going to be simple to them. It's not going to be hard. It's not going to be complicated. It's going to be easy. It's going to be in, it's going to be out, and you're going to get what you paid for. And so that's the whole point, of course, of using a done-for-you service, especially a done-for-you service where that has the track record that we have. And we've been in the funding space for well over a decade. So I do have a few bonuses that I promised everyone for joining us. And so this specific bonus is for everyone who wants to get started today. So we have an $8,000 membership upgrade. Now, if anybody is already aware of us and they know that we charge $4,000 for our memberships, and that covers one person. So today we have an $8,000 membership upgrade, and we also are giving everyone access to our newsletter archive. Now this newsletter archive is amazing because it documents the process that it took for me to grow Fund&Grow from literally $100,000 a year to doing millions in revenue every single month, and to where we are today, where we're doing tens of millions in funding for our clients every single month. Our newsletter literally documents that, how we do our marketing, how we do everything to get us to where we are today. And you can get access to that, which is normally a $50 per month subscription. You get access to the first month for free, and then every month after that is $50 a month. You can decide if you want to be part of that or not. So everything that's included today is I'm going to show you here on the screen. And this is the entire credit card stacking process, all done for you. Now, of course, you're going to have to open up your mail. You're going to have to take out the card and activate them. There are some things you are going to have to do. But by far and large, we do all of the work for you. This is a done for you service. And by now you can see that all of the parts of the process are put together for you. You're not the secretary here. You're not having to go and do things and figure it out. We've already figured it out. All you have to do is sign up, get started, and we're going to get the credit for you. So everything that you see on your screen is all part of that process. So, of course, the consulting, that is a very important part, because we're going to be telling you exactly what you need to do in order to allow us to get you the funding. And that might even just be like, hey, don't answer the phone call right now because we're doing this, or it might be whatever that part of the process is. So being able to not only know what to do, when to do, but also where do I go? Which banks are going to give me 0%? Which one's going to report to my credit report? Which are the safe banks? Which are the banks that are not safe to work with because they charge a lot of nickel and dime fees, which we don't want? So all of that is provided by us. We're going to set you up with entity, like we talked about earlier. Every single client that goes through the process, that's not going to be your problem. We're going to set you up with it 100% legal, 100% ready for funding. We're going to show you how to utilize the business funding with no advance fees. We're going to show you how to get the cash off the card to spend it on wherever you want, how easy that process is. You can do it like a wire transfer if you want. It's a very simple, easy process. The credit card, how to spend it, that's not a problem. Even if the business that you're trying to purchase something from, even if they don't accept credit card, we'll show you how to still use your credit card to purchase their service, their product. Let's say you're trying to flip a house, you need to replace a roof as a house flipper, and the roof company doesn't accept credit card. We'll show you how to use a credit card to pay them anyway. It's very easy, very simple. So all of that is included. So the credit coaching package of how to remove the credit inquiries, the business from the business credit card, so we can go back over and over and over. That alone is a $500 value. You're going to walk away knowing how to remove those inquiries from now on. It's one of the coolest things. You're going to be able to tell your friends and family, like, oh, I know how to remove credit inquiries off my credit report. It's a pretty cool thing. So anyway, then also the Dnb Corporate Credit. And you can easily get access to 100,000 of that in a fairly short period of time. And the more you work on the corporate credit, the more that you can get access to more and more and more of the non-recourse credit. And then, of course, both of the bonuses that we just talked about. And so all of this today is being put together into a package, not of $4,000, but of $34.97. So $3,500. So go to fundandgrow.com/2021 so that you can take advantage of this offer. Now again, usually this is a $4,000 cost for one person, but the $8,000 membership upgrade that we're talking about today, we not only have taken the price from $8,000 down to from $4,000 down to $3,500, but we're now gonna even throw in a second membership. So the $8,000 bonus that we were talking about is because we're gonna allow you to sign up 2 people for the $34.97. So let's say that you're married and you have a spouse. Well, they can join the program too. Now that will double the amount of funding that you can get access to. That means another tax ID for them and one for you. And now you're gonna get business funding from both of these different profiles instead of just one. So let's say that you have a business partner that you work with, that you're in a partnership, and let's say you're a doctor and you work with another doctor. Well, they now can also get access to this program. So you could go and tell them theoretically that they could pay you for half the program and they will get access to the funding. Now, clients that do this, they get access to a lot more funding because they now have a second profile. Instead of just one person's credit, one person's profile to work off of, we now have 2. And so we can unlock funding even quicker, getting it into your hands for your business's spending even faster by using a second profile. And now we're not even charging for that. So normally you'd have to spend $4,000 for person number 1, and then another $4,000 for person number 2. But today, we're doing 2 people for the price of $34.97, one membership for two. And even if it's 2 separate businesses, that's no problem because that's all part of the membership of what we're doing today. So once you go to fundandgrow.com/2021, so fundandgrow.com/2021, this is what you're gonna see on your screen. So the best deal is the $34.97. It's just to purchase the one-time deal. So, but if you want to pay in 2 payments, if $34.97 is not working into your budget for this month, then you can pay in 2 payments of $18.74, which means you pay the first payment of $18.74 today, and then the second payment of $18.74 30 days from now. Now, it's important to note that you're going to pay a little bit more than $34.97 on the 2 different payment plans, just a little bit more, and you're doing that because you're financing it. So that's the cool thing about financing is you can get access to things you wouldn't have otherwise. That's why we call it OPM, other people's money. And I would highly recommend that you take advantage of that. So if you want to pay in 3 payments, you pay $13.32 today, and you get started with the entire program. So pay $13.32 today, you get started with the entire program. You pay the second payment 30 days from now, and then you pay the last payment on your 60th day. So that way you can get started, you can pay in 3 different payments. And again, on the payment plans, you pay a little bit more than $34.97, but it's still discounted from what the 3-pay plan would be on our website. So if you go directly to our website, to fundandgrow.com, without putting the 2021, all of this is gonna be way more expensive. You're not gonna see these prices on the website. So make sure to use that link, fundandgrow.com/2021. Now, here's a few specific facts about the membership. So if you are a member, you're going to receive an individualized plan. This isn't a PDF that's going to show up in your inbox that you then have to follow. When I'm saying an individualized plan, you're going to get a phone call. You're going to go over your credit report where you have it, they have it, your consultant has it. You're going over it together. They're letting you know what they're going to do on your behalf to get you this funding, and then they are going to go off and do that plan. And that plan is made specifically based off of your situation and based off of what you got going on. And what they're doing for you is probably completely different what they did for the client right before you, and a little bit different than the client before that. Because every client, all these credit situations are like blades of grass in my yard. They're all different. There's just so many of them. The important thing is to have a consultant that understands all those differences and how to take advantage no matter where your credit is. They know which banks are going to approve you for the most. And that's based off of our historical data of us taking just tens of thousands of clients to the banks for so long, applying for such a long period of time, and storing up all that data. And that way we know where to take you and how to get the maximum amount of funding. But it's important to note, folks, we don't want to do any of this without doing it legally, legitimately, and the right way. We are not in any way advocating to get funding that we don't pay back to the banks, or that we get funding by being disingenuous. Not at all. And if that's what your intention is, don't even work with us. We don't even want to work with you. What we do is we get legitimate funding for legitimate businesses that are looking for legitimate expansion. And we have a great relationship with the banks because of that. And because of that, we can leverage that relationship to get you a lot of credit. So there's just so many ways to use the funding. We have clients in all different industries that are in real estate, that own a brick and mortar, that are in e-commerce. There is truly unlimited ways of spending the funding and being able to grow your business. And if you already know ways of being able to grow your business, if you already know what to do with the funding, then it's a no-brainer. Then it's not even about what you're going to do with it. It's just about how much funding can I get access to. I just want more and more funding, because the more funding I have access to, the more I can leverage. And here in America, we can use other people's money, and we can leverage this money that comes from these big institutions for us, for our families, our local communities, and to grow our businesses. And it's truly a beautiful thing. So we have clients that are wholesaling. We have clients that are doing digital e-commerce, that are doing marketing. There's just so many different things that we have clients doing. But one thing that I want to show you is a client that, in his own words, went from doing $40,000 a month to doing over $400,000 a month. He attributes that success, that growth of $40,000 a month to $400,000 month over month. That success is attributed to him getting access to funding, and not just one-time funding, not just a hard money loan, but funding that he can use over and over and over again in his business. And so I'm going to go ahead and put on Nick Perry talking, and then after that, like I promised, I'm going to be bringing on Jason, and we're going to bring Jason on, who's the Chief Operations Officer of our company, and he's going to come on and let you know about how our operations are and how the negotiations are working, and give us kind of like a little update for the month, all in all.
As the recording right now, it's April 14th, 2020. March was a record month for us. We did just over 400. So now, 10
extra revenue from a few years ago.
Correct. I mean, without having that liquidity in runway, it would have been a real grind to make that happen.
That's awesome.
After coming back from a mastermind, I said, if this is the answer, I need to just quit being gun shy and make it happen. So that was one of the best decisions of my life. I still would say, like business and financially, Fund&Grow is one of the smartest moves I've made, hands down.
All right, guys. And as promised, I'm here with Jason Alonso, who is our Chief Operations Officer. And Jason is going to go ahead and answer everyone's questions. He's also going to give a little update on the amount of funding that we've brought in this month so far. And I can see there are just so many questions that have come in here. So, Jason, go ahead and take it away from here, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here. Really excited to talk to you guys. I want to make this as interactive as possible. Engage with you guys a lot. Ask your questions. Put them in the comments section. I'm going to go over a few more slides with you. Talk about the operations side of our business. Really go in depth on some things for you, and hopefully, talk to you a little bit more about what business credit does for you, does for your business, and ways that we can help you even more. So this is me. This is my family here in the middle. My fiance, Christy Banks, who's also with the company. Here's a picture of us out in Ohio on a vacation of ours during Christmas. So the first thing that I really want to talk about is the importance of the $500 discount in the 12-month with our 12-month membership. So what we're really looking for is scores at 720 plus. If you don't have 720 scores right now, it's not a problem. As Ari mentioned before, we do have that affiliate Kadem Credit Help who can help you in ways to get your scores higher if you have derogatories on your reports. Now, if it's just pay downs, things like that, we're going to coach you on how to pay it down, what accounts to pay it down, what accounts to merge, whatever we can do to get your scores up, because our goal is to get that business credit, right? We want to get you $250,000 plus of business credit, but we also want to help with your personal. Your personal credit is going to follow you with you your whole life. So it's important that we get that up to 800 scores. It's very, very important. So sign up now. You can find out in 2 to 3 days what your individualized plan is, what your next step is. I'm going to go through in just a little bit with our client journey. You're going to see it. It's a circle. It's a circle graph that shows you exactly what to expect with our program. Guys, I see there's a ton of questions coming through right now. Robert, yes, I'm going to be answering questions in just a little bit. Frederick, yeah, we do offer a referral program. We can go into that in just a little bit. Nairo, Kadem is great. Yes, they are. They're fantastic. They help a ton of our clients. Does the inquiry removal, this question's from Leroy. Does the inquiry removal only apply to business cards, or can personal inquiries be removed as well? The rule of thumb there is as long as it was not approved and shows up on the personal credit, you can remove inquiries, right? So we'll talk you through all that. We can go through that step by step later on in the presentation here. But if you sign up with us, we'll talk you through which inquiries can be removed, which ones can't. Thanks for the question, Leroy. Elizabeth asked, is it possible to pay the 12-month membership with PayPal? Unfortunately not. You can pay by check, you can pay by ACH or credit card. T. Looney, I'm a realtor, work with a lot of investor clients. You offer a referral affiliate program? Yes, we do. If you leave a comment here, we'll be able to reach out to you or give us a call. Our phone number right now is up at the top right-hand corner of the screen. If you have any questions about becoming an affiliate, we welcome that. Obviously, the more people that you can send us, word of mouth is the best way to get business. Plus, it's more trustworthy. We do want our affiliates to go through the program. If you haven't gone through the program, we would love for you to do so. That way you can explain it the way that we can explain it, and there's nothing hidden or there's no misconceptions about our program as well. So if you sign up, you're going to get an in-depth underwriting with an expert, really a business credit expert. So we're going to tell you where you're at right now. It's individualized. Everything's individualized. Ari compared it to a blade of grass. It's 100% true, right? So a 720 for one person can be a completely different 720 for somebody else. This person can have 3 accounts open, $10,000 limit, $15,000 limit, $20,000 limit, and their balances are below 30%. The other person could have 1 AU card, which is an authorized user account that Ari mentioned before, and they could have 1 investment loan. That's 2 completely different things, right? So allow us to dissect into your personal credit profile, your business credit profile, your business situation, so we can give you that individualized plan. As you can see, the last bullet here does say a 720 FICO is okay. It could take longer though if you have below than that, right? If you have below that, there's something going on that's hindering you to get the approvals with business credit. Using plastic. So Ari mentioned this back when he was talking about the hard money loans and paying the contractors for a new roof. Basically what we're going to do is set you up with plastic. Now plastic is a third party. We partner with them, but we have a great relationship with them. We're going to be able to input your information into their system so that you can contact somebody on their team who deals with Fund&Grow clients, right? So they know exactly what a lot of our clients are trying to do, whether it's purchase real estate or get into the e-commerce side or pay contractors, whatever it is that you're trying to do, they've seen it previously with our clients. All you're going to have to do is add your payable account. So who are you paying with the accounts? Who are you trying to, is it the escrow account? Is it the closing attorney? Are you trying to buy a real estate property with cash? Yes, it can be done. It really can be done. You're going to be able to add those people to your account. You put your credit card information in. They send a check or wire transfer within 2 to 3 days for the wire transfer. Checks take a little bit longer, more like 3 to 5 days. But at that point, when you send that wire transfer, boom, you just closed on a cash deal. It's literally, it is that simple. Sergio, he talks about it right here. You know, he got $74,000 in credit. 4 different banks, all 0% between 6 and 15 months. We're now going after accounts that are more in the 12 to 20 month range, but there was accounts previously it was a 6-month card. It's still there. It gives back cash rewards, but he was able to get $74,000 with these accounts. He wired roughly $45,000 as a cash down payment for his second rental property using plastic. Folks, it can be done. I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds tricky. I know it sounds hard, but it's not. It's really, plastic is there for a reason. They're a well-established business. You can look them up as well. Allow us to get the funding for you, and they will be the ones that are able to send that wire transfer to you so you can close on properties as cash. You can use these accounts that we obtain for you basically as cash. Now you're not pulling cash off, right? You're avoiding that 29% cash advance fee. Nobody wants to pay that. That's astronomical, you know, that's huge. That's a huge amount that you're using to pull the cash off when all you have to do is pay 2.85% to send the wire transfer or to send a check. You can pay utilities with this thing. There's so much stuff that you can do with plastic that you can't typically go and just swipe a credit card with. The other thing to remember about plastic is that you're paying 2.85%, right? Most of these accounts come with the rewards, right? Ari was talking about how he flew to Spain. Some of them come with travel rewards. Some of them come with cash rewards. 1%, 2%, some of them go up to 5% on specific purchases. But if you're getting between 1 and 2% on cash rewards, you're paying for some of that fee. So if you're getting 1%, you're only paying 1.85% for plastic, right? If you're getting that cash reward back, you're able to use the rewards to pay for these fees, again, which makes it cheaper, way cheaper than going through a hard money loan or even worse, a cash advance fee. Here's a few more of our reviews. Fund&Grow here, we really focus on customer service. Ever since I've started here, my main goal was to get customer service through the roof. We upgraded our phone system recently. We've added staff, obviously, like Ari mentioned, we're at 65 people in the office, looking to continuously grow. That way we can better you. Right? When you send us an email, we want to return that email as quickly as possible, definitely within that 24 to 48 business hours. Your phone calls, stay on hold with us for a little bit. If we've got a heavy call volume, you're going to either have the option to press 2 and get a call back, or we're going to answer it right away. Right? If you call during when we're not in the office, during off business hours, we're going to return that phone call the next day. We're going to respond to your email the next day. We have a live chat feature as well that's brand new, that's on our system. If you go to our webpage, fundandgrow.com, you'll see in the top of the webpage live chat. if you're a member of our program already, you're going to have a live chat feature inside the client portal that everybody will have access to, which I'll go over in just a minute, that you can hit live chat and somebody will answer your questions right away. Now, if it's in depth, obviously the first phone call that we want to have is go through your individualized plan. We don't want to do that over chat. We really want to connect with you and really interact with you a little bit with that. But here's another one from Kevin King. He left us a review about getting $108,000 in the first round. Guys, it happens. We can definitely get you the funding. Just listen to us. Listen to our recommendations. They may not be what you want to hear or what you think is on your credit report, but Ari already broke down the differences between a consumer and a bank level credit report. We're seeing stuff that you don't know is on your credit report. We're not here to be mean. We're not here to be rude. We're here to give you the truth. We're here to tell you exactly what's going to be on your credit report and what we need to fix it. A few more testimonials from some of our clients. $128,000 went through their second round of funding. The entire process took 2 weeks. Got over 90,000. So you can see here that it also differs, right? Not everybody's getting the same amount of funding. Not everybody's going through this whole process in the same time frame. That's because everybody differs just a little bit. Now, if you come in, you've got 850 scores and you've got your balances down, you've got 3 to 4 personal accounts, revolving accounts that are on your personal credit report, and we're ready to go right to funding and really attack these lenders, it may take you a shorter period of time. But if we ask you to pay down your personal accounts, or if there's something that we need to fix, like an address or something like that, we're going to tell you how to fix that. But we also have to wait for that to show up on your personal credit report. Right? The balances that you pay down on your revolving personal accounts, they only show up, they only report to the bureaus once a month. Now you can get a rapid rescore, but a lot of the banks they're gonna fight you on that a little bit. They don't like to do rapid rescores. They like to go through and just let things work out the way that they are. But we'll give you a way to call the bank and what to say and how to get that to report quicker, or we can even try and do that for you. Here's a screenshot really quick of one of our platforms for reviews. As you can see, we've got 5 stars all over the place. This is the biggest part of this page here, is the 4.9 star average out of 5 stars with over 2,400 reviews. There's not many companies out there that have these kind of reviews. I can promise you every single one of these reviews are coming from our clients. They are all happy. Like Ari said, we're not going to be able to please everybody. But to be honest with you, the ones that we're not able to please are the ones that we can't get funding for right away, and they need it right away. But we're not going to waste your time. We're definitely not going to apply just to apply. We want you to get the most out of this 12-month program. Right? That's why we get these star ratings. That's why we're at a 4.9 average for 2,400, almost 2,500 reviews. We take it very seriously. Everybody out there on the floor right now is incentivized to ask their clients and to provide the customer service. They're not going to just ask to ask, right? They're going to provide the best customer service out there, so that they're more comfortable to talk about their experience. We want everybody to talk about their experience, right? That's what it is. It's word of mouth. I can sit up here and talk all day. Ari can come up and talk all day. But really, if you're hearing from other clients about their experience, that's really, really going to be the ones that ties people to Fund and Grow. Let's answer a few more questions. How often can we apply for funding? That question was from Frederick. So really what we want to do, and I'll explain that just a little bit, we're going to go through one round of funding. So we're going to go through multiple rounds or multiple batches of funding throughout your 12 months. So it's not just one and done and the rest is training, right? We're going to get you as many business credit cards as we can, card stack them, try to merge as much as we can, and try to hit 3 rounds of funding. I can't guarantee any rounds of funding for you, but I can guarantee you that we're going to give it our all in the 12 months. All I ask you to do is listen to our recommendations, right? If you can listen to our recommendations, then we're going to get you the funding. So how often can we apply? We usually, depending on if we're going for all business, we have to wait about 4 months. The reason behind that is because you have to remove the inquiries. You have to utilize the accounts the way your account managers tell you to utilize it, using plastic. If you don't have any deals ready, just using it for something, making chunk payments on these accounts as well. How do we get started? T. Looney, go to the website at the bottom, fundandgrow.com/2021. Choose the payment plan that you want to do. We'll be more than happy to get you started. You'll receive an email, a welcome email that allows you to start filling out your portal. The quicker you can do that, the quicker we can start reviewing your file and set you up for that phone call to give you your individualized plan. Let me look for just a few more before I move on. I think I went through a lot of these. So our personal credit will be inquired to produce business credit. Lenny, yes. So business credit is personally guaranteed. It's unsecured, but it's personally guaranteed. That means that the banks will look at your personal credit. Corporate credit is different. That's the non-recourse, right? Corporate credit doesn't have anything to do with your personal credit report. So if you do sign up, when you sign up, I should say, go through, fill out your portal. You can start working on that DIY corporate credit program that we offer immediately. And I highly recommend it because you have to start from somewhere. If you want to buy the properties like Fund&Grow has, the 2 buildings, we had to start somewhere. We couldn't jump right into buying properties with corporate credit, with business credit. We had to start slow and work our way up, just like each and every one of you would do. Robert asked, if so, you violate the 30% rule if you have 0%. Robert, I don't understand your question. If so, you would violate the 30% rule if you have a 0% rate for 18 months. Can you explain to me, Robert, what you're trying to ask there? Any discounts on the credit repair service? Gemini, yes. Just by joining Fund&Grow, you do get a hefty discount with KDM. We can go over those discounts when you sign up, but if you ever need anything, we're going to take care of you. If you need credit repair, sign up. Do the 1 payment plan if you want. Do the 1332. We'll put the rest of it on hold for you. We'll send you over to KDM and we'll take care of you. You'll get a discount with them. Allow KDM to fix your credit reports. We can start building on things. You can start working on that corporate credit. We can set you up with a business entity so you can start working with that corporate credit if you don't have one on your own. There's so much that we can do if you do need that credit repair. Eli asked, already mentioned a second batch update and that you guys seek more accounts during that process. Is the second batch update just round 2 of 3 that you guys advertise, for example? So like I just mentioned before, we're going to go through as many rounds of funding as we possibly can in that 12 months, right? We're going to try to get you 3 rounds of funding. We're going to try and get you more. If you bring in a secondary applicant, which you are getting for free today, just make sure it's a family member or a business partner, something like that. You're each going to get your own rounds of funding. You're going to be in the same 12 months, but you're each going to get your own funding. Okay? We want to make sure that you both understand that both your personal credit reports need to be where we want them to be. So to answer your question, I'm trying to figure out, does it update? We do updates. We want to make sure that you're in a lendable position before each round of funding. And we're going to get you there over that 3 to 4 month seasoning stage where you're going to let those accounts season. You're going to utilize them, right? You're going to let them gain age so that when we go back for round 2, round 3, the banks you're building that trust with them. Okay. All right, let's move on a little bit. Again, this is our 12-month program. This is everything that you will be getting if you sign up today. The 50 to 250,000, the secondary applicant, the credit coaching package, done for you. Everything's going to be done for you. We'll show you how to remove the inquiries. We'll get you in touch with the credit repair company. Everything else is done for you. We're going to be the ones sitting on hold with the banks. The banks are the hold times right now are crazy high. Chase, I know just a couple weeks ago, I think last week I heard as well that they were about 2 hours just to get in touch with somebody at Chase. We're going to do all that for you. I know you don't have time to do it. Let us do it. Let us talk to the right department. Let us get it done for you so you can get that card in the mail. You can pull it out, see the credit limit, give us the information. Let us get it a little bit higher for you. Here's the client journey that I talked about. Now, this is the part that I want to kind of be a little more engaging with everybody. I want everybody to kind of ask questions here, but I want to walk through exactly what we are going to do for you from day one. So you sign up today. You're going to start here. We're going to welcome you to Fund and Grow with an email. We're going to send you an email. You're going to use the email that you used to sign up. That's going to be your username. You're going to be able to create your password. From there, you're going to have access to your client portal. Very, very important that you fill out everything that we're asking for. All of that information is key to us to be able to create that personalized plan for you with one of our expert credit analysis, right? Those are the people that are going to be able to talk to you and break down every step of the way of what you should expect. Right? Because it could be a little bit different than even your spouse or your business partner, just depending on what your personal credit profile looks like. That's where you're going to complete your profile, right? You're going to put in all your personal information, all of your business information. There's going to be a few documents that we ask you to sign: the power of attorney, the credit authorization, and then our terms of service. Credit authorization is the key form that allows us to pull your personal credit. The good news about us pulling your personal credit is we are not going to put a hard inquiry on your report. We have a relationship with the credit bureaus that allows us to view your credit reports on a soft pull. So there is no hard inquiry from Fund and Grow. Once we start submitting applications over here in stage 6, then you're going to start to see the inquiries that we're going to show you how to remove, then coach you, send you that coaching package so that you can remove those, or you can work with Kadem Credit Help at a discounted rate. So about 3 to 5 days after you sign up. Could be a little bit sooner, could be a little bit longer. Just depends on how quickly you fill out your portal that I just went over. We're going to review in that time frame, we're going to review your credit profile, right? That's where we're going to get that individualized plan for you. That's when we're going to break everything down and be ready for that phone call. So we're going to send you another email. A lot of the communication from here to here is going to be through email. So make sure that you are really watching your emails. There's going to be a lot of good information here. You're going to get welcomed that way. It's going to break down. You're going to get basically a breakdown of the whole membership. What I'm saying to you is going to be written down on a nice PDF. There's going to be one in your file documents where you upload documents if we need some. Review all of that information. Every time you have an update up to this level, you're going to get an email from us. We're going to communicate that way. By all means, if you have any questions, give us a call. Give us a call, 1-800-996-0270, extension 2. That takes you into our customer service side, our client relations team. Very dedicated team out front, answering all the phone calls. They can answer any questions from day 1 all the way to the last day of your membership, where hopefully you're going to look to sign up again, but we'll cover that later. Here's where we're going to complete that personal credit review. All right, we're going to send you an email with a link. We're going to ask that you click that link and schedule a call with one of our expert credit analysts. They're going to be able to go through that individualized plan with you. There's an hour block every day. We've got hour blocked out, so you have that time to ask any questions that you may have. We can make sure that we're as clear as possible on what you need to do, what we need to do together to get you in a higher, improved, lendable position. That is the most important part. Like I said before, we don't want to apply just to apply. We don't. We want to make sure that you get the most out of this program, this 12-month program. You pay today, you're paying $3,500. We know that's not a lot, that's not a little amount of money. It's a decent amount of money, right? But you're getting 12 months of membership. You're getting 12 months on one-on-one hand-holding the whole time. So we want to make sure that you take advantage of all of that time frame. Right? We want to make sure that you take advantage and you're getting the most amount of funding. If we just wanted to apply, there's no way we would get $19 million the last 2 months. The highest amount of funding that we've ever had at Fund&Grow the last 2 months was $19 million. We're continuously upping the bar. The account managers out there, the negotiators, the ones that submit the applications, the ones that submit the applications for you. They are, like Ari said, they're incentivized to get that funding, but they want to make sure that you're in that best position to move forward. Once you're in the best position, that's when we're going to submit applications. That's when we're going to do negotiations. Does anybody have any questions or anything on anything that I just mentioned already? Now, again, this is about 3 to 5 days for us to review. Here is where, you can go right into funding, or it could take a little bit longer, depending on your situation. It could take a month. It could take 2 months, could take 3 months, a little bit longer. Damon Clare is one of our clients that left us a review. If you go on our YouTube channel after this is done, stay with me for now, but watch the Damon Clare interview. Damon Clare signed up with us with a bankruptcy. He went to Catum. He was able to get over $190,000, but he didn't rush into it. He was calm. He was collected. He was able to listen to our recommendations, which we recommended to go and get that bankruptcy removed. We got it removed, and we were able to get him, I think in the first round, it was like $67,000. I could be wrong on that, but I know that we got him $190,000 plus over his membership. And he signed up with us with a bankruptcy. So it's not, just because you have derogatories on your personal credit, doesn't mean that it's not going to work for you. Let's see. Frederick said, thank you, sir, for explaining and answering my questions. Absolutely. Anytime. If you have any more, please let me know. Robert Frommer, sure, would max out the line violating the 30% rule to take advantage of 0% interest. 100% of line if you're at 0% at zero, even though you would be over 30%. So here's the difference there, Robert. We're talking about business credit that doesn't show up on your personal credit report. So you can max out these business accounts and it's not going to affect your personal credit. If you max out your personal accounts, absolutely, your scores are going to go down the drain. They're going to tank. But the business accounts, you can max those out, right? And we're going to show you how to do it. You're going to want to make some small purchases first, and then if you got a big purchase, go ahead and make it. You've got that 3 to 4 months while we're seasoning the accounts and removing the inquiries and working on corporate credit to make chunk payments to those accounts. The banks want to see you make chunk payments. What do I mean by chunk payments? So chunk payments, if your minimum payment is 1%, right? So if you've got I'm terrible at math. So 100K, 1% of 100K would be what, $100 or $1,000? Excuse me. It'd be $1,000. If you need to, and most likely you're not going to get a business credit card at $100,000. I'm just using this for simple math. We have had $100,000 cards. Once we start to merge accounts later on in the program, you could get up to that $100,000 point. But just for easy math, if you're making chunk payments at $1,000 a month, if you can even bring that up to like $1,500, $2,000, the banks are going to love you. Even better, a better example here would be if I lent you $100, right? $100, and then I lent your best friend $100. You were paying me back at $20 a month, and they were paying me back at the minimum payment of $5 a month, I'm more willing, and I would do it in a heartbeat, to lend you more money than I would your friend who's only paying me back at $5 a month, right? So that's where we're going to coach you on how to repay these accounts, and it's not going to affect you. So you don't have to drop them all the way down to 30% right away. Before the round of funding, we want to get your business accounts down to about below 40%. But we're going to show you how to build that relationship with them so that you can really take advantage of the next rounds of funding. Eli, if I clean my file through KDM and settle everything with my credit, as well as have decent payment history, would having only one $500 limit open for 5 years hinder me from getting $40K for my first round? So Eli, I would have to look at everything else, but the beauty about Fund&Grow is we're going to help you build your personal credit too, right? If we see something, where we either need to raise that credit limit or coach you on getting an authorized user, or even apply for what we call a mixed batch of funding, which will go after a couple of personal and couple of business, we're going to do that. I can't sit here and guarantee you $40,000 in your first round. For one, I can't guarantee anything. Nobody out there on the floor can guarantee you any certain amount of funding. But what we can do is tell you what we expect you to get. On average, we're anywhere between $20,000 and $60,000. Most of the people that follow our recommendations are on the higher tier of that. We have had people like you saw in the reviews get over 100,000. Eli, it does sound like you may need a little bit of personal building there, which we can help you with. But again, I can't guarantee you of getting 40K in the first round. But sign up. Let's take a look at it. Let's get your credit fixed with KDM, and then we can actually start to build your personal report while you're working with KDM as well. James asks, can you explain the option of getting money through the 9% option? Yes, we do have a 9% option as well. That's just a one round and done. You're not getting all of this stuff here. Basically anything on this wheel, we're going to go all the way through here and then stop at number 6, which I'm going to go through in just a minute. 9%. You basically pay us $1. You have to be ready to go. You have to have a score of 730 or better just to be ready. Funding ready. We submit applications. You would pay 9% on the back end. If you're really looking to take advantage of Fund&Grow, the membership, the 12-month membership is the way to go. Plus, if you really knock it out of the park in that one round of funding, you could end up paying a lot more. Leroy, if I have 100K in personal credit, can I use plastic in the same way I use business credit cards? You can, Leroy, but be careful. Man, I'm telling you, your score is going to drop. If you really max out those cards, you're going to see a dip in your personal credit. It could hurt you, especially if you're looking to do a cash out refi or something if you're doing real estate or whatever it is. Guys, bring the questions on. Let's keep going. I'm going to go through the applications process. I'm going to move a little quicker now. So once we get you into that overall lendability where we can apply, you're going to get an email from us. You're going to get the phone call, but we're going to tell you what day we're going to apply. All right, we're going to make sure that you know what day to expect your phone call from the account manager. The account manager is going to go over what banks they're going to apply to. They're going to talk about the time frames, the do's, the don'ts. They're going to tell you to send everything that you get from the lenders over to us so that we can negotiate higher limits. They're going to introduce, that's going to be your point of contact. The account managers are on the phone 100% of the day with the lenders, minus a few phone calls that they're taking, spending with clients, but really they're trying to get the funding for the clients. So that's why we have our client relations team out front. Be nice to them. They're here to help you. They're getting as much fund, or they're helping kind of give you the details that you need in your membership, where you're at in the program, what it takes to get the funding. But when the account manager calls you, she's going to explain to you what the game plan is, right? What banks are going to go after, how many banks are going to go after. If we have anything that's going to show up on the personal credit report, we're going to ask you, we're going to say, hey, our recommendation is to go after a personal account, maybe even Capital One, which is that business account that shows up on the personal. We're going to get your approval first. We're not going to apply for anything that shows up on the personal credit without you knowing about it first. That's one thing that we really pride ourselves on. We get clients come in all the time saying, "Oh, I didn't know you were going to put something on my personal." We explain it to you in that phone call. If you don't like the plan, you're going to come up with a plan with your account manager. I promise you, we are not going to submit applications unless we talk to you and we go over that plan and you both agree. So that's going to take about 30 to 45 days from when we submit applications. We want to negotiate. We want to raise the limits. We want to go as high as we possibly can. So make sure you're in communication. You're answering emails, text messages, phone calls from your account manager, sending them the requested information, because the longer that it takes for us to hear back from you about that information, the longer your negotiations are, which means the less time that you're able to get for those second, third rounds of funding if we can get there, right? So if you continuously get back to us and we're able to move through really quickly, there's no reason why we can't get you that third round of funding. Once we maximize all the accounts, we get everything that we can possibly approved. We're going to show you how to remove the inquiries. We're going to show you how to utilize, kind of like I was talking about up here. That's going to take about 3 to 4 months. If we do have to get anything on the personal account, all personal revolving accounts need to be about 6 months old. So there's time there for us to utilize the accounts, remove the inquiries. The banks don't like to see anything personal, revolving account wise, less than 6 months old. They want to see how you're able to manage that debt. Business is a little bit different. The personal, I don't know why it is. It's just a really sticking point for them. They want to. I know they want to make sure that you're able to take care of your personal, your personal credit finances before you can run a business. So if you have new accounts, they see it as kind of a risk, but we're going to do ways to get around that. So if we need to go for a mixed round of funding, we're going to sprinkle in some business, maybe a personal account, and get ourselves around that. But we're going to start to work on this anywhere between 4 to 6 months. Then we're going to review your lendability position again, right? We're going to make sure that you're in the best position possible to go through with your second, possibly your third round of funding. And we're your personal, your business, where the balance is at, where the inquiries at, do you have any fraud alerts, your addresses, did you move, whatever the case is, we're going to make sure that, again, you're going to get the most amount of funding to where we can build off of that first or that second round of funding. Then we're gonna start to obtain higher funding amounts. So we're gonna go back, we're gonna submit more applications, we're gonna negotiate, and we're gonna rinse and repeat all the way until your 12 months is complete. We are a done-for-you program. We are going to hold your hand the whole way through this process, all the way through. If you have any questions, please call us. Please send us an email. Talk to your point of contact. Go in through the live chat. However you want to communicate with us is perfectly fine with us, except for in the beginning. Just make sure you're keeping an eye on your emails because there's very, very important information coming through that. Does anybody have any questions on this? I'm going to skip past this slide now, but if you do have any questions, let me know. Ongoing benefits. Again, you're going to have, our goal is to get the business credit, right? We want to get that 50 to 250,000 in business credit, but we also want to make sure that your personal credit profile is through the roof, 800s plus. Can we get everybody there? Unfortunately not. You follow our recommendations, we'll get you there. We'll just follow what we're telling you to do. Keep the balances off of your personal, put them on your business. We interviewed a guy about a month ago. I can't remember his name. It slipped my brain, but his score went up 100 points. 100 points. He was able to get $90,000 in business credit. His score went up 100 points. He was in real estate. It made it so much easier for him to do a cash out refi on the property that he purchased, because his credit score went up. Why? Because he wasn't using his personal accounts I believe it was Leroy. Leroy Carter asked me that about the balances on the personal. Yeah, your scores are going to drop. It's going to make you harder to do other things while you're working with, while you're trying to use the personal credit instead of the business. You're going to get more pre-approved offers. You're going to get higher approvals, lower interest rates. So if you need to go in for an auto loan, a personal auto loan, your interest rate's going to go down. Why? Because your score's up. A lot of them, they really only care about the score with auto loans. And unfortunately, that's why if you go in for an auto loan, you may get declined. And that's what our negotiators do, but on a different aspect. We go after the business credit. Auto's the same way. Right? If you get declined and you have no idea why, you can call the bank, ask them why, and explain why you need to be, why you should be approved for that. I've seen that happen multiple times. I've done it myself. You know, when I go for an auto loan, I either had a really high interest rate or I was declined. I called both banks and I tried to negotiate what interest rate would be better for me. They both got approved, and I got both interest rates down to 2.75%. So now I got to pick. Which bank did I like going with more? So I got to choose, and it was great just by calling and talking to the bank. We're going to do all that for you with the business credit side, but it's the same way. But if we can get your personal credit up, you're going to have lower interest rates. You're not going to have to pay security deposits on like utilities or even cell phone bills. You're going to be able to apply with everything with confidence. So the difference between business credit and most other funding like HELOCs, auto loans, collateral loans, it's all tied to an asset. You know, your mortgage, HELOC, it's all tied to your house, right? Your car is obviously tied to your auto loan. If you don't pay it, guess what? It's gone. They're going to take it. Business credit, it's unsecured. So if you buy a property on a cash deal using your business credit, they're not going to take it. Now, we obviously want you to make your payments. It's very important because it will show up on your personal credit report if you don't pay it, but you're not going to lose your asset by using this type of funding. That is huge with this type of funding, with using business credit. Here's an example of how we got a $25,000 card with U.S. Airways increased to $40,000 immediately before the client even got the first approval letter. They were able to get the $40,000 card. Here's another one where we were able to get the credit line at $30,000 through Fifth Third. One of my favorite few slides are coming up here, and the reason behind it is because it shows the initial approval amount. Right? So when we first applied, and here's where our negotiators really come in, we initially applied and got zeros. A lot of you are applying for business credit, and guess what? Zero. You didn't get anything. You got declined. You don't know why. They're giving you a reason or whatever. They're not really telling you the truth. They're giving you the runaround, whatever the case is. We're going to get that approved for you. Just like we did for this client here, we were able to turn all these zeros into a $45,000 approval, a $15,000 approval, a $10,000 approval, a $42,000 approval. Seriously, guys, $112,000. And it all started at zero. Zero. That's what we do. That's why we're the experts. That's why we're asking you to trust us. Now you can see I'm getting a little excited about this because this is huge for us. This is huge for stuff for you that a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people don't understand that if you get the decline, they think that's it. You know, now I've got to wait another month. Now I've got an inquiry on my report. There's nothing I can do about it. Trust the experts. Really trust us. Here's another example. Initials, zero. We were able to get a $25,000 card, $26,000 card, $11,000 card. That's our account managers. That's our negotiators. $62,500 when if we would have stopped at applications would have been zero. Zero. We know the process. We know the numbers to call. We know who to contact. We know what to say on your behalf to get you this funding. Huge. Right? We're the experts. We're the gurus. We know what it takes to get the funding. Here's one of our account managers, Zach. Zach's been with us for a very, very long time, but I want to point out this chart here a little bit. So here you can see it's a breakdown from our CRM, our customer relations manager. It's our in-house system that we're able to track everything for you. Here's what our auto approvals show, right? And this breaks it down by the day. It breaks it down by the week, and it breaks it down by the month. So on 7/19, we were able to get auto approvals of $191,000, $192,000. If we would have stopped there, we never would have got this $500,000 here, which brought us up to a daily total of 706. Right? There are days where we do have higher auto approvals than we do have negotiations, but if you can look, most of the time, we've got higher negotiations than we do auto approvals. It happens all the time. You're going to get declined off the bat for some reason or another. You know, maybe it's your address. Maybe it's an account that they don't like. Maybe it's a history that you have. Allow the experts, the ones that do this every single day, 40 hours plus a week for you to get you these numbers, right? Here's the $19 million. In June, we hit another $19 million in July. Look at these numbers. $8.5 million in auto approvals, up to almost $11 million in negotiations. It's a $3 million more in negotiations, but in all reality, if we didn't negotiate, don't even think about this number. If we didn't negotiate, our monthly total would only be $8.5 million. But that's what our program does. It turns $8.5 million into $19 million. Big difference. And you're benefiting from that. You're benefiting from the hard work of the account managers. Like Zach. You can see Zach here is holding his Credit Gains Undisputed Championship belt. They have a little competition amongst themselves that we like to set up. Whoever gets the most funding gets to get this belt. And then Danny takes a picture of him out front. And, you know, he's a big wrestling fan, so he really likes to wear his glasses, things like that. It's really exciting for all of them to do, but they really push to get as much funding as possible. If anybody has any questions on this, let me know. I'm going to try and go through some quick questions for you really quick. Can I create a new business to do this, or is it better to use one of my existing businesses? Is it better for the business to be 2 years old with tax returns? My goal is to shoot for 500K. James, yes. If you have an existing business, we ask that the business is going to be about 2 years old. We have worked with LLCs that are about 6 months and older. Those will work just fine. We need to start somewhere, right? Tax returns, the beauty about this funding is 9 times out of 10, the banks aren't going to ask for tax returns. If they do, we go after the other banks that don't. We know which ones usually ask for tax returns. We know the ones that don't, right? It doesn't mean that we're going to submit an application and none of them will. There are some cases where the bank just wants to verify some quick information, make sure that it's not a fraudulent application, things like that. But yeah, James, if you have an existing business, by all means, put it into your client portal and send it through to us. Eli, I'm sorry regarding my question earlier. I meant to type 5,000, not 500. Would you still say that I need to further build my personal credit before obtaining business credit? That's fine, by the way. Eli, yes, we do want to see a few more revolving accounts, usually around 2 to 3. But again, we can go after what's called a mixed batch of funding for you. We can also set you up with an authorized user account. Well, we can't do it for you, but we can coach you on how to get that, you know, whether it's a family member, business partner, a friend, as long as it's in good standing, right? It's got it's been open, it's been seasoned, you know, for about 2 years plus. It's got a good limit, low balance, no derogatories, things like that. That can definitely jump your score up and get you into that 800s. Then we can go after a mixed round of funding, add your own personal accounts, and you won't have to touch your personal credit for any more credit cards whatsoever. Then you start using the business side, right? So Eli, again, I would have to look at it a little bit. Just to see when you sign up. The whole team will take a look at it. We'll give you that detailed plan. Most likely we would want to sprinkle in a personal card or even a business card that reports on the personal side like Capital One. But we would talk to you before that. Eli, you ask again. Also, I understand that nothing is guaranteed. No worries. Just trying to gain better understanding. I'll call in eventually. Eli, now's your chance, man. Now's your chance to take care of that or take advantage of that $500 discount. We also have that 60-day money-back guarantee. Sign up, right? If this program's not going to work for you, we're going to be the first ones to tell you. But guess what? We can make it work for anybody. Even if you have bad credit, we're gonna put you in the recommendations. We're gonna give you the recommendations to get your credit fixed. We want your credit score to be through the roof, just like you do. If you've got credit issues, when are you gonna start? If not now, if you're not gonna take advantage of that $500 discount, When are you going to do it? Eli, now's your chance, man. We'll get you into Cadem. We'll get your personal credit fixed. We'll start building some of your personal credit while we're waiting. The corporate credit is huge. That's going to establish so much opportunity for you to get more business credit. So let's get you in. Let's get you started, and we'll get moving now. Leroy Carter says, my utilization is 1% presently on my personal cards. Still, I understand the benefits of using the business cards versus the personal credit. Absolutely, man. That's perfect utilization. You start using things like plastic for your personal accounts, though, they could go up. Hey, guys, any other questions, please let me know. I see there's still quite a few people on here viewing. I'm here for a while. Whatever you guys want, ask me anything. I'm going to continue to go through these slides, and then I'll answer some more questions for you. What if you don't qualify? We just talked about that. We'll get you into Cadem. We'll give you the tools and the necessary recommendations to get you moving, to get you qualified. Again, corporate credit, this is different than business credit. Business, I spelled that wrong. Biz credit. What's the difference? Business credit is personally guaranteed. Corporate credit is non-recourse funding, not personally guaranteed. That's why I'm saying no matter what your personal credit situation is, when you sign up, start taking advantage of this DIY program that we offer, the corporate credit section. Very, very important. The more this has, you're going to start building that business profile. So when we submit that first round of funding, they're not just looking at your personal round when we're going for business credit. They're not just looking at your personal credit report. They're also looking at the business or the corporate credit that you've established while you're working with us, while we're getting you into that position. That gives them more leverage, the lenders, and it gives the account managers more things to leverage on your behalf to get you into that $250,000. There's more things for the lenders to use to justify a higher approval for you. But it's non-recourse funding, vendor trade lines. Nothing will affect your personal credit report. You can build this and build this and build this with things like Home Depot, Granger, working your way all the way up to actually purchasing property, fleets for your over-the-road trucking, whatever it is that you're really looking for. Like Ari mentioned before, you can use the corporate credit, but you can also use it to make a huge difference in the business credit accounts that we're looking to obtain on your behalf. Here's the buildings that Fund&Grow actually purchased with corporate credit. This was our old building here, also in Spring Hill, Florida. Here's our beautiful new building that we moved into about a year ago, a little over a year ago, maybe 13 months, all purchased with corporate credit. But again, we had to start somewhere. All right, we started small and we continued to work our way up. I believe it started with just Ari and then 3 people, and then we're up to 60 plus people. Same thing with corporate credit, same thing with business credit. You got to start somewhere, and you have to start by fixing issues that you may have, right? The personal credit. Let's get you there, right? We're going to give you the recommendations. We're going to show you what it takes to get the business credit. Just listen to us, right? Just listen to your expert. Listen to the business credit guru that you're going to be talking to, and take their recommendations in and really think about it. You're going to need to fix your personal credit at some point. Most derogatories stay on your credit report from 7 to 10 years. We have ways to help you fix that quicker, right? Again, Fund&Grow is not a credit repair service, but we have tools to show you how to do it yourself, or you can work with Cadem Credit Help, who has helped thousands of our clients get the funding quicker. A little way that Fund&Grow gives back, something that we definitely pride ourselves on, is the Giving Back Caring House project. I believe that this was in Haiti. What we did, they went to a seminar that one of our affiliates was actually selling these houses that actually helps people that are living in these mud huts here get out of these houses. I believe it costs about $5,000. Fund&Grow purchased a couple of them. Get them out of this hut here is made out of mud. Really, they're sleeping on the floor. There's rodents, like rats the size of big cats, going into these mud houses. we purchase property so that they can live in a nice air conditioning property with beds, with clothes, with food, with water. We really care about not even people that we're never going to work with these people, right? We can only work with people in the United States that have a residential address, that have a social security number, but it doesn't mean that we don't care. Right? We give membership giveaways once a month. We give 2 free memberships away once a month. Right? At least this year we're doing that. We're here to help you. That's what I mean by listening to our recommendations. We're not here to hurt you. We're not here to hurt your personal credit report. We're here to better you. We're here to better you as a business owner, get you off the ground, get your business, get you that business credit so you can either start up or grow. The number one constraint for people that are trying to build business credit is what? Funding. They don't have the money. A lot of businesses, they close within the first 1 to 2 years. Why? Because they've run out of money. We're here to help you. We're here to help it so that you don't have to use that cash out of your wallet, out of your bank account. Don't use that. Use the business funding at 0% and then pay it back over time so that you can get to your ROIs and then pay it back, right? You definitely want to make monthly payments, but it's better than putting $50,000 on a real estate property that was all cash, because now you don't have access to that. If you use the 0% interest business credit that we're trying to obtain for you, then you keep all that money in your pocket. You have that whoopsie money or whatever that pillow that you can use, the comfort of having that money in your account. Instead of throwing it away, use it at 0%. Use the business credit. We leverage it by advertising, paid ads. You can do the same thing. Marketing, e-commerce. You're getting cash rewards for all this stuff. If you're in e-commerce, if you're doing an online store, purchase your inventory with these accounts, right? You're getting cash rewards. So really you're getting a discount on top of the discount you're probably already getting from your online store. Then the client's paying you, so you can easily pay the account back. So you're just reaping cash rewards cards, right? The rewards, you're just reaping in the money. You're instantly getting an ROI on the product that your client's wanting. And especially if you're buying a ton of inventory with this, it's just going to continuously help you. You're going to be able to get higher credit limits because you're utilizing the accounts. You're showing a great payback history, and it's really going to help scale your business. You can get office supplies, anything that you really can think of. Even if you don't think that you can swipe the card, that's when plastic comes in. Here's a few of our FAQs. I don't know what to do with the funding. Can you help me? Absolutely. We're not going to make any purchases for you. Danny, the screen's teleprompter's out. We're not going to make any purchases for you, but we are going to show you ways to make payments. We're definitely going to make sure that you know how to pay it back. Is this training? Is this a training course, or do you do the work? We do the work, right? Again, we're going to do all the work to get you the funding. We're going to show you how to utilize the funding. We're going to show you how to repay the funding. But the biggest thing is, we can't do anything on the credit repair side. We can coach you on that. Fund&Grow is not a credit repair company. We have Kadem Credit Help for that, right? You'll get a discount with Kadem Credit Help. Let's see if there's any other questions. Eli, no problem. No problem. So rounds of funding are usually 3 to 4 months apart. Absolutely. Yeah, right around there, depending on what your situation is. If you follow our recommendations, absolutely, we can get them done in about every 3 to 4 months. Does the business accounts report to my personal credit? No, we've already talked about that. Capital One Business does. Discover Business does. TD Bank, I believe. Maybe it's not TD Bank. The other one we don't even go after, but I know Capital One and Discover are a couple business cards that do show up. We're not going to go after them unless it's absolutely necessary for you, and we're going to talk to you about those accounts beforehand. All the other business accounts will not show up on your personal credit report. A lot of other companies, they say, yeah, the business accounts, they all show up on your personal credit report. Not true. It's not true. They just don't do it the way that we do. It's not true. They don't negotiate. So they don't want you to come to us, right? We're going to negotiate. We're going to do everything for you. It is a no-brainer to use our system to get the funding. What are the monthly payments of the credit accounts? Roughly 1%. We already talked about that. We do recommend you paying about 2 to 3 times. The Fund&Grow website says the cost of the membership is $39.97. Remember, you're getting that $500 discount. You got to sign up today, though. You got to sign up right now. You get the buy one, get one. You get that $8,000 value where you can sign up a friend, family member, business partner for only $34.97. You can do the payment plans. Remember, $34.97 to pay it all up front. You can do the 1 payment plan, 2 payment plan, or the 3 payment plan. What happens when my membership expires? We have countless clients. Nick Perry, who you saw earlier, right before I came on, I believe he started his 3rd membership. He's up to $450,000. He's 10x'd his business. He's 10x'd the revenue for his business because he keeps coming back. We keep getting the funding for him. How does the credit card repayment work? Again, we already went over that. Utilizing business credit cards. We're going to show you how to use them. Right? And we want to make sure that we're getting these business credit cards and we're going to merge them together in between rounds. So round 1, we're going to take it in round 2. We're going to piggyback off of round 1 so that we can merge the accounts. So for instance, if you have a $20,000 card in round 1, or we'll say 10K, round 2, we're able to get you a $20,000 card. And these are both with, say, Chase. We want to take this card and we want to throw it onto this card. Now, the average age of these accounts don't matter. Why? Because they don't show up on your personal credit report. The banks already know that you've got business credit because it's tied to your EIN number. It's tied to your social too, but it's not showing up on your personal credit report. So it's not going to hurt your scores. It's not going to hurt your business score either. It does the average age of accounts doesn't hurt your business reports like it does your personal. So we're going to take this and we're going to add this here. So overall, after round 2, that Chase card is going to be a $30,000 Chase card with 12 months of 0%. Right? So then we just close this account down. You use the rewards that came with it, but we want to make sure that the $20,000 card is turned and the $10,000 card are all joined into one to make it one $30,000 card at new 0% so you can take advantage of a much higher credit limit. Does anybody have any questions on any of that? Send them through. Come on, guys. Send them through the comment section. If you have any questions, please, I'm here for a little while. I'm going to continue to go for just a little bit longer. If you have any questions, please let me know. Common excuses of why not to join Fund&Grow. You don't have the access to the funds to join. You need to speak with your spouse. Come on. Bring her or him on. You guys can come on together. They'll love it. I promise you, we'll take care of both of you. If you don't have the access for the funds, that's why we've got the payment plans, right? With $1,300 to sign up right now, you can get started with the program. The next payment's going to automatically run at 30 days. The one after that's going to automatically run at 60 days. If you do sign up with one of the payment plans, though, this is very important. Payment plans. If you pay $1,874 now, if you pay the balance before the 30th day, you waive the finance fees, right? But you got to pay before the 30th day. You have to pay before the 30th day. You don't think you can get the results? A lot of people right now, they don't. And that's why they're coming to the experts. We're the experts at this. We're going to get you the results. It just depends on how long, right? We want to make sure that you're in the best position possible to move forward and get that funding. Not sure if it's the right time. If it's not the right time, then when is? When are you going to really take advantage and be serious about your own business? You've got to be serious about your business, not us. We're serious about helping you. Not sure if we're the real deal? Come on, go find us on YouTube. Go find us on Google. Go find us on Trustpilot. We are the real deal. Over 2,400 positive reviews. Again, with a 4.9 star average. Show me another, if anybody knows of another business that has that kind of reviews, let me know. I want to work with them. What's the first thing that you do when you go to Amazon? You're looking for something. What are you going to do? You're going to look at the reviews, right? If it's got a 1-star review, you're going to work with it? You're going to buy it? Probably not. If it's got an average of 4.9 stars and 2,500 reviews, it's probably the real deal, right? You're going to get some negative reviews here and there, but who knows? Maybe it wasn't for that person, but that's okay. I guarantee that if you come in here, you're going to be happy. And if you're not, we're going to do everything that we possibly can to make you happy and to fix any issues that you're seeing and work with you as much as we possibly can to solve any issues. And our staff, I meet with them once a month. We have department meetings every other week. And really, I just push customer service because it's so important. If the customer service isn't there, we would never be where we're at with our reviews. But we're trying to better that every single day. We want to make sure that our communication with our clients is top notch so that whenever there is a minor issue, you're able to get in touch with us immediately and we can fix that problem for you. Again, call us to get started. If you haven't gotten started now, I don't know what you're waiting on. Call us right now. Extension 1-800-996-0270, extension 1. Talk to our business development team. They're here. They're waiting for you. They know about the discount that you're getting, but you have to call today. Call today, and you'll be able to get that. You'll be able to get that discount. You'll be able to get that second person on. You'll get free access for a month of the newsletter. Remember, every month after that's $50. Take advantage of what we're offering you today. Let's go. There's still 67 people on here right now. Maybe we can, smash that like button. Leave some comments for us. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. But more importantly, sign up with us. Let's see what we can do. Why wait, right? I'm so excited. I want to see if anybody's signed up with us. If you have, please leave it in the comment section. But we really want to just really get started with you and start fixing your personal credit, get you in a better lendable position so that we can move forward with business credit. If you have any questions that you can't send through here, give us a call. Again, 800-996-0270, extension 1, or you can go to the link that was just posted in the comment section as well, fundandgrow.com/2021. Here's some more FAQs. What if I don't know my credit score? We're going to figure that out for you. Again, we can run your credit even if you don't know it right now. If you want to kind of figure out what's going on, give us a call. We can run a pre-qual on you. We're not going to pull your personal credit reports. We are, but it's not going to be a hard inquiry. Does doing the payment plan slowing the process down? Absolutely not. We're going to get started. We're going to move forward with it really quick. Does this work for startups? Absolutely, it works for startups. It's the best thing for startups because you don't have to use your own funds, like I mentioned before. How long does it take to get funding? On average, 3 to 4 weeks, right? But we want to make sure that you're in the best position possible. If we need to go through credit repair, it could take a little bit longer. Here's the smooth path to funding. Here's what it could take. I'm going to look and see if there's any questions. Leroy says, yes, does merging adversely affect your credit business or credit because of one being closed? Leroy, it doesn't. It kind of all depends on what your personal credit report looks like. The business side, it absolutely doesn't have any effect because you're just taking advantage of that 0%. It doesn't show up. It doesn't hurt your business credit score. Your business credit score is mainly based on payments and how many accounts you have on there. But if you kind of merge them in and get the higher limit, you'll be fine. The personal accounts, you kind of want to merge those into the oldest account so that you have a longer average age of accounts. Plus, some banks, they don't like to lend you 6, 7 cards. They have a max. They may max out at like 5 cards for you, and that's personal and business. If we can merge a lot of those together, you're going to have one card with a much higher limit, which is going to bring your scores up. You can utilize them more and stay under that 35%, right? 35%, right? So if you have a $10,000 card and a $40,000 card, you can utilize more of the $40,000 card and still be under 30%. Which means your score is going to stay high, but 30% here, $3,000. If you hit that or go up to 5, that's 50%. Your score is going to start to drop. Here, you can use $5K and your score is still going to be fine, right? So that's the difference. Merging the accounts. We'll coach you on how to do it. Just make sure that you merge them into the old ones on the personal side if you're going to do it. Sign up with us. We'll show you which ones to merge. You may not need to merge anything. It may look better if you don't merge, but we'll walk you through all of that. Leroy, thanks for signing up. I appreciate it. Look forward to working with you. I'll keep an eye on your file. Want to make sure that everything's going great. That's great. Thanks, Leroy. The smooth path to funding, I'm sure most of you have read through this right now. Minimum score about 720 is recommended. Again, if it's not there, can take some time, but we'll get you there, I promise. Abide by the recommendations of your Fund&Grow expert. We're going to show you what it takes to get the funding. We're going to tell you, again, we're not trying to be mean. We're trying to make it so that you know what you need to go through and what's going to put you in the most lendable position for the business credit. If you have derogatories, if you have a small average age of accounts, less than a year, 1 year old, if you have a lot of late payments and they were very new, that could derail you a little bit, but we can get them fixed. If you have late payments, guess what? Late payments are going to stay on there for quite a while. Let's get them fixed. Let's get them removed. Let's get you over to KDM. Let's show you how to remove them. You can send letters. We'll show you what to do to dispute them on your own if you want to do it on your own, but really, let the expert do it, right? Let's let KDM do it. Let's get everything removed for you and get you into funding. Make sure your personal accounts are lower than 30%. 30% or lower, and this is individual accounts, right? It's not total utilization, it's individual accounts. So if you have three different accounts, make sure all of them are less than 30%, less than 30%, less than 30%. All right? Less than 4 inquiries. Don't go applying for everything, right? We've got a strategic plan on what to apply for, when to apply for it, how we're going to apply for it. The more you apply for different things, it looks like you're reaching for credit, looks like you're desperate. It does have a negative impact on your credit score and your lendability as well. Uses for business credit. Again, you can grow your real estate profile by purchasing cash deals with this by using plastic only at 2.85% and close on a cash deal, right? You can get that property as a cash deal just by using plastic. You can use it for marketing and advertising, accounting, bookkeeping, legal services. You can invest in anything, really. Anything that you're looking to purchase with this business credit, you can use by using plastic, right? You can pay utilities with it. You can purchase automobiles with it. If you're an over-the-truck driver, you can purchase gas and anything, a computer for your home office, whatever you can think of, you can use this funding for, as long as you don't pay yourself. Right? You can't pay yourself. You can't pay a family member. You can't pay your business. You can't do anything like that. But you can use plastic to wire money over to the closing attorney or the escrow account or the contractor or whoever you're trying to pay. Again, as long as it's not a family member or anybody close to you or your own business, especially not yourself. Again, fun cash deals. Here's our beautiful chart again, one of my favorites. Sign up today. Let's welcome you. Let's get you through. Let's get you that email like Leroy's waiting on. And let's get you signed up so you can access your client portal, allow us to review your personal credit profile so we can improve your lendability, get you into funding, get you that $50,000 to $250,000 as quickly as we possibly can. And that way you can take care of that, take advantage of that whole 12 months, right? Again, done for you. This is what you're getting. Total value today, $19,473, right? A whole done for you program, 0% interest, one-on-one business credit, expert access. That's probably one of the most important things that you're going to have access to. You're going to have access to my team, our team, all the time, Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. You call us, you're going to have access. They're going to answer any questions that you have. Send us a live chat. Send us an email, whatever the case is, whatever makes you more comfortable. Give us a call, send us an email. We're going to walk you through whatever questions you have. I don't know what to pay down. When does my account update? When can I get the funding? We're going to tell you, and we're going to tell you over and over and over again, what it's going to take to get the business credit. Right? Just listen to them and take their recommendations so that we can get you in the best lendable position. That's what matters the most. The recommendations to get you there so we can get you the business funding. Okay? If there is any kind of work that needs to be done, especially in the beginning. We'll talk about the time frame and make sure that you're really taking advantage and getting access to the whole 12 months of the membership, okay? We can set up an entity for you when you sign up. If you need an LLC created, we're going to help you with that. If you already have an LLC, there could be we could set up a sole proprietorship for the first round of funding if you don't have an LLC. If you do, we can use that. A lot of people do want another LLC created for you. You would just be responsible for the state filing fees, which differ between states, but we can definitely help you set up with that. Once you get the LLC created, once you get the sole prop created, you can start working on the corporate credit, which is right here, the vendor credit. The other thing is the removing of inquiries. We're going to coach you on how to do that so you can use that for your lifetime. You'll have access to that packet. You keep that packet. We're going to show you how to utilize the funding with no advance fees. Again, 2.85%, 29%, 30%, big difference, right? Use this funds as cash. It's not taking the cash off, right? Don't get that mixed up. It's not taking cash off these cards, but it's using it to wire transfer and using the funds as cash, just like cash at 2.85%. Remember, bring on a secondary applicant, sign up today. You get one of those. You can bring on a second member to your membership for the price of $34.97. And then also you have access to the archive of our newsletter. There's hundreds of episodes that you can go through and read through on how to better your business just by reading a few articles. Do we have any questions come through? Yes. Shimori, hopefully I said that right. Sorry if I didn't. What if I get my score over 750 and under 30% utilization and everything is looking great, but I have one 5-year-old collection I'm disputing that just won't come off? Shimori, we'll have to take a look at your personal credit. I think that we could probably move forward with you, but I want to make sure because it all depends. The credit score, great. I don't know what kind of credit score you're coming after, if it's a consumer report or whatever. We do want to take a deep dive into your personal report. It also depends on what bureau the collection is showing up on, right? So some of them show up on all 3 bureaus. You may only be seeing it on 1 bureau, right? Is the collection paid? Is it not? Sign up. Let's take care of it, right? Even that collection that's on there 5 years, let's try to get that thing removed. You don't want to wait 7-10 years for that thing to fall off, right? Let's get that thing removed. Sign up with the one payment plan. Let's get you a discount over at Kadem, and let's take care of your issue and get you that business funding, right? Once we get that collection removed, who knows? That score could go up to 800. We can get you even more business credit, all right? But you can start working on corporate credit while you're working on credit repair. Let's try and remove those. We may not even have to do that. I don't know. We'll have to really dig into your personal report to figure out where we're going, what we can do for you. But I do think with a 750 score, under 30% utilization, you're fantastic for this program. I really do. What's included? Again, the entity, 250 to 250,000, hopefully in your 12-month membership, credit consulting to maintain and improve your overall credit profile. We're going to try to improve every single day, right? I'm going to help you. Our team's going to help you. We want to see you get max scores. Again, this is what's included with us, 50 to 250,000. Again, sign up with us today. Get your special discount at $34.97, $500 discount. Bring on a secondary partner. Let's go. Let's get started. Let's get our business credit going. Let's start to scale the business, right? We care about all small business owners. We really want to see this thing work for everybody. Start now. If you're not going to start now, then when? If you're not going to take care of a $500 discount, when are you going to do it? Let's go. Let's get yourself started. Come work with me. Come work with my team. Let's really do it. I really care about you. I really care about each and every one of you. I'm really excited to work with you. I'm really excited to get more business funding and really see smiles. I mean, they even say you can see a smile over the phone. I love to hear that. I love to hear positive reinforcement from our clients. We reach out to them all the time just to check on them. We get customer satisfaction surveys, reaching out to them, seeing what's going on. Really excited about the growth of our company and the growth of our clients' businesses. So again, let's get you started. That's the end of our presentation right now. If there's any other questions, please send them through. We're here to help you. But until next time, give us a call, 1-800-996-0270. If you're a current client, press 2. If you have any other questions from our business development team, press 1. Otherwise, I hope you all have a great day. We're here to help. I would love to work with you. Hopefully you sign on soon. Thank you.